Getting the groove on here in the Pratt Pack Gym, courtesy of Comcast. And I hope you'll get your filet of fish this week as the Lenten season is winding down from McDonald's. What a catch. All right, now, if you will, just let me take care of some business here because a lot of stuff to tell you about and a lot of stuff still happening today with your Pratt Pack going into the late evening. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But here's a story that CBS Radio News will be following throughout the day, and you can hear it courtesy of the award-winning KDK Radio Newsroom. Rex Tillerson, who is he? The Secretary of State, of course, former chairman of that great company, ExxonMobil. Well, he is meeting with a man that he's known for a while, but obviously in a different position now that he is the Secretary of State, and with the situation in Syria worsening. He and Vladimir Putin meeting right now in the Kremlin. Also, a review of the same intelligence report from then Chairman David Nunes. Both Republican and Democrat lawmakers say no evidence that the Obama administration did anything unusual or illegal. This contradicts what President Donald Trump said about Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice, that she broke the law by requesting the unmasking of U.S. individual identities. Just some stories that CBS Radio News will be covering today. And in sports, before we get to that Pirate loss, it is postseason for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they will get it going tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's going to be game one at the PPG Paints Arena. And when you think about the Pens, you know Sidney Crosby, what he's done this year, but Evgeny Malkin coming back, which is good news, but injuries too. Chris Letang out 4 to 6 months with a herniated disc. Ole Mata may come back, would be a big boost. He's been out with a hand injury. And left winger Carl Hagelin, his foot, he's out. But man, he means so much to them with that edge speed. He's an incredible skater. But Columbus, their power play has been dwindling of late, and they have some serious injuries too, such as Zach Werninski. He's a defensive player who really helps their offense get into transition. And also, when you think of goalies, Sergei Bobrovsky, he, of course, with a .937 save percentage. But then Matt Murray won the Stanley Cup last year, and he has a postseason save percentage of .923. Penguins 50, 20, and 11, taking on Columbus 49, 24, and 8 during the regular season. But none of that matters. Throw those records out. The postseason begins tonight for the Penguins in the National Hockey League. Now, as far as baseball goes, great story here. Scooter Gennett, he's a young man that grew up where? In Lebanon, Ohio, just on the outskirts of Cincinnati. He gets picked up by Cincinnati from the Brewers during spring training off waivers. Last night, 3 hits, including a 3-run homer, and it was the Pirates losing to the Cincinnati Reds. Hopefully, Ivan Nova can get it turned around tonight at PNC Park, a little after 7, and of course, you can hear it on 93.7 The Fan. NBA season, for those of us who love the sport, and of course, Cleveland has to be our team right here in Pittsburgh. It will end the regular season tonight for Cleveland, and I bet you they're real happy. The defense of their NBA title has been tough, a lot of injuries. They've lost 3 in a row, the latest coming against Miami on Monday, 124-121. Tonight they take on Toronto, but here is what they're hoping for, because Boston's up 1 game on them as far as that top seed. If they can beat Toronto and the Celtics lose to Milwaukee, Cleveland will have that number 1 seed heading into the postseason. Tom Modrak, big-time football here, Western Pennsylvania, full-time scout with the Steelers, 1978, very good friends with the Rooney family. And just a quick sentence from the statement that was released today from Steelers President Art Rooney II on Tom Modrak. Tom Modrak was an integral part of our personal team for more than 20 years. He also, the 74-year-old, the former GM of the great Philadelphia Eagles. He graduated from Carrick High School in 1965, IUP, and then got a master's degree from West Virginia. He was also a veteran in the U.S. Army. He is survived by his wife, Sandy, and their 3 daughters. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Modrak family. Also, David Letterman's mother, Dorothy, has passed away at the age of 95. She was a great cook, so much so she had a cookbook in 1986, and she was featured on Dave's show many, many times. And she talked about her favorite things, and her 3 children said it was family and a ride in the country and a good meal. And she was really an amazing cook. And I must tell you, during her heyday on David's show, I was working a lot and traveling all over the tri-state doing sports and radio and television. And when I would catch up with my mother, usually about 3 in the morning, on the phone, headed back into CBS, my mother would always talk about David Letterman's mother, Dorothy, on the show the night before, and I know it brought her a lot of joy. Also, rock and roll royalty. Jay Giles, founder of that band, of course, lead singer Peter Wolf. Jay Giles has died at the age of 71. He was found in his home in Massachusetts. Police are saying not suspicious. They really were around in the late 70s doing some things and didn't hit their stride until they really hit it big with these songs. Of course, Freeze Frame and Love Stinks and that #1 smash, Centerfold. Peter Wolf saying, we kicked it high and we rocked the house. And they truly did. Jay Giles, the founder of the Jay Giles Band, great guitarist, dead at the age of 71. Now, speaking of rock and roll, latest nominees and all these wonderful things that have been happening as far as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that has all been put to rest because we now know who is going in. And it's already been done, the big ceremony that's going to appear on HBO just in a few weeks. Well, tonight we will be at the Beaver Allegheny County Times with Megan Miller and Scott Tatey talking about some of the selections, including Jeff Lynne and ELO and Joan Baez and many more. And we're also going to be talking to him about something that is getting a lot of action on his Facebook page, about the stage on the riverfront in Rochester just sitting there. Great venue, beautiful place, and I think that man wants to get it utilized, and if anybody can get it done, he will. So that's going to be happening, and plus some other things, including a Center Township native who's coming back to headline at the Improv, and that famous tree from Shawshank Redemption, you know, and my friend Andy, as the great Morgan Freeman talked about many times, has been cut down in Mansfield, Ohio. So we're going to kind of relive that movie as well and talk about that. Speaking of movies, don't forget, this holiday weekend, if you're looking something to really enjoy, sit back and relax and watch Turner Classic Movies. And they have all of the great biblical movies that we grew up with, like the Ten Commandments and The Robe. Spartacus, of course, is there as well with Kirk Douglas, who is still alive, and that's a good thing, as I'm sure he and his family are enjoying Passover. And just great things always happening on Turner Classic Movies. And also tonight, we are going to be at Frank Eli's Brixton Brewery, Hollywood Gardens, founded by his late father, Rocco, in 1958. I'll be joined by rock royalty in these parts, Rick Granati, and I'm going to salute one more time the Rock Legends Awards happening at Jurgles on April 27th. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about people that he knows firsthand, like the late Jerry Reed and Jerry's Records, where he and his brothers recorded many, many evenings into the early morning. So we'll reminisce about the great Jerry Reed and Jerry Records and what it meant. And of course, Donnie Garvin, who was an intricate part of that as well, still out there touring with Jack Hunt, and of course, Johnny Angel and the Halos. We're going to be talking about Tommy James and the Shondells going in, the Jaggers going in. And one more time, you got to get tickets to this event because Donnie Iris of the Cruisers fame and Aaliyah and all those songs, play that funky music, White Boy with Wild Cherry. He's going to reunite with Jimmy Ross and company, the Jaggers, back together, one night, one stage, Jurgles, Rock Legends Awards. You don't want to miss it. And of course, a icon to me and many others in broadcasting, Chuck Brinkman, also going in. That's it, folks. I'm done. I know it was a lot, but I said it would be. So now you can kick back and relax and go get yourself a cheeseburger and fries. Big Mac, Junior Mac, Grand Mac. It's all good. It's McDonald's. Good afternoon, everyone. Enjoy the rest of this sunny day.